In the previous video, we learned how to install packages in R using the install.packages function. And now we're going to use a function inside the first package that we installed, which is the reader package, which has a function which is going to allow us to import our data into R. So I want you to see packages as toolboxes. So if you purchased a toolbox or 3 different toolboxes from your local store, if you brought them home, and that's what install.packages did, well, you need to open up the toolbox in order to pick up the tools that are in it. And that's exactly what we're doing. You install packages only once, but whenever you open a new session of R to do work, you always need to open the toolbox. And we say to load the package in this case. So let us write a comment here, load packages. That's what we're going to do. The function that is useful to do that is the library function. So library, reader, now you don't need to put the names of the packages in quotations because you've already installed them. So R knows what they are right now. Then library, dplyr, then library, ggplot2. So after writing the lines of code, I can batch execute the 3 lines of code. And if you don't see any error here, then it means that your packages have been successfully loaded. Now we can use the functions in it. So now it is time to import the Gapminder dataset into R. Okay. So remember the structure of our project directory, our Gapminder_analysis project directory. So this is the project directory, and inside the directory we have a subdirectory called data, which contains our Gapminder.csv dataset. So inside the reader package, we have this awesome function that allows us to import CSV files, and that's the read_CSV function. Okay, we're going to add parentheses. Okay, so this allows you to import or read in CSV files. So inside the parentheses, you add quotations and you specify the exact location of the file, and that this location is relative to the root directory of your project. So where is it relative to the root directory? It is in the subfolder data. So we go ahead and type data, okay, /, okay, so means that we are inside the data subfolder now, and then we specify the name of the data set, which is gapminder.csv. Okay, so if you do it successfully, after executing the code, you can see that the data has been imported, and you can see it in the console. So that's country, continent, year, life expectancy, population, GDP per capita. We have some information about the data set, the number of rows, the number of columns, and these are just the first 10 rows, and there are many more rows which are not showed. But it doesn't really help that the data is imported and showed in the console. We want to be able to store it somewhere so we can actually work with it. And we already learned about variables, so we can just store everything into a variable. So let's call this variable the Gapminder variable and use the operator. I have a special font which makes it look like an arrow, but this is less than and then dash, like we learned in a previous video. So we can run this line of code, and after running the line of code, we can see that the variable Gapminder, which contains my data, is now inside my environment. So let me clear up the console with Control L, and let me check if Gapminder indeed has my data. Okay, so when I run this, you can see that indeed Gapminder, the variable Gapminder has contains my data set.